So hit the record button. I think everything's working. Welcome back, everybody. I
So
hope you guys had a good week. Lots of interesting games. Did not see the Celtics and Warriors game coming. That was just crazy. I saw all the memes, Stephen A. reacting to that. That's like Bob My How awkward was it for Bob Myers to be reacting to that, man? That's crazy. Um, but anyway, I'm your host, Josh. This is my co-host here, Diego. If I can
what's
get
up?
that out of my mouth correctly. But Diego, how's it been? I've just coming out from 6 hours of basketball over the weekend, so definitely got a lot of game in, a lot of good runs. How about you?
It's been pretty good. I also played a lot of good basketball, especially outside. Here was like 60 something one day in like early March.
You
Love that
talking about
global
Monday,
warming.
right?
Uh, during the weekend, it was like 50s and 60s. Monday here
Oh
was
yeah, it was
70.
really nice outside.
Yeah. So had a shout out to global warming helping us out. But yeah, I've been pretty chill. Mavs have not been chill. We'll talk about that in a second. It's been just a disaster, and I'm greatly in pain in more ways than one. Physically, emotionally, spiritually, it really sucks, but it's okay. We're playing the Pistons this weekend, so hopefully that helps. It's
And
kind
I
of
mean, I almost feel like this is a 180 from you, man. This is crazy
yeah.
because I actually thought that first half against the Celtics they played really well.
hmm
They look like they could keep up, and then I just think like over like third and fourth quarter just ran out of gas.
hmm
Um, I really like what they've been doing to build around Luca and Kyrie. It's like from a roster perspective, like I think the coaching staff really understands how to build a team that accentuates Luca's strengths with Gafford and
hmm
PJ Washington. I was really skeptical on the moves themselves because I was just like, from a talent perspective, in a vacuum, it doesn't look like it'll work.
Yeah.
But keep forgetting that these are two players that come from like bottom of the barrel franchises,
hmm
and like just a change of scenery has seemed to do wonders by them. But
Yeah.
um, it's been a rough couple games. Granted, we just talked about how the Warriors struggle against the Celtics. Seems like everybody
mhm.
except the Cavs like struggle against the Celtics right now. But um, how do you assess this game?
Well, this game, I would say, like, I just saw this on the schedule. I was like, hopefully something could happen, something, the ball bounces our way and we can sneak out with a win. Like, that was going to be the best case scenario for me. I wasn't expecting anything because like, the Celtics are the best team in the league. And especially with like, the Mavs at the moment struggling defense, being the worst defense since the All Star break, it was going to take something out of this world that we did not get. So, yeah, I think that's the biggest issue. I wasn't really expecting a win, and especially I think a big thing is now, like I've been saying this for a while, and especially Mavs Twitter has been today, especially after last night's game against the Pacers. Just Tim Hardaway Jr. has been playing so many minutes with like Luca and Kyrie that you just don't have like a perimeter defender aside from them or on the court at all at that point because you have probably PJ Washington at the four and then Lively or Gafford at the five. So it really makes things difficult for the team. And as me, someone that likes to watch good defense, it definitely has not been like that. But I say this game was at least for the first half a good try, kept it close, and then the Celtics just had to do their thing, and they're obviously the better team, best team in the league. So I don't know what else. Like, there's not much analysis. I feel like. Also, I didn't watch the whole game sadly. So
Yeah, I kind of watched most of it. I think um, the big issue was like defensively against Boston. Like Boston's been
yeah.
one of the best 3-point shooting teams in the league. You kind of saw that against the Warriors. Like Jalen Brown was otherworldly in that Warriors game. But I
hmm
mean, like with the Celtics keep passing around like this and shooting from outside at the percentage they're hitting, nobody can beat them because of what they can do defensively.
Yeah.
And I think when what you mentioned about the Dallas defense since the All Star break, that's a recipe for disaster. And it's kind of you're
Yeah.
forcing Luca and Kyrie to combine for 70 every night in order to even
mm,
have a chance. And
Yeah.
you're gonna get these bad games from one of those guys. Like Kyrie shot 9 or 23 from the field, I think.
hmm Yeah.
And
Not
that's
great.
not a recipe if you want to keep up against like a top tier team like the Celtics.
Yeah.
So um, I hear you there. I think what most disappoints me about this team is like Tim Hardaway.
Mhm.
Like it's not like he can't hit 3 pointers because he's a really good 3 point shooter, but it's just the decision making to get into those shots. I remember texting you
Uh-huh.
about this, and I'm
Yeah.
just like, some of the shots he takes are ill advised, and it's like the shot decision making is
Mhm.
bad. It's
No, yeah.
not like it's not the shot making, it's what kind of shots he's taking because he's putting himself at like a really difficult place. Like when the name of the game is just to drive and kick now,
Mhm.
and just trust your shooters to make your shots. Why are you taking this random like create your
Pull up
own three
3.
that doesn't need to
Yeah.
be created? Like you create your own three when nothing's there, when the play is not there. But like in transition, he just takes these awful or like catch and shoot threes that aren't available, and he's just chucking them up anyway. And I'm just like, yeah, that's not a good sign. Like when like it's one of those things where if he's hitting him, he's hitting him. But
Mhm.
when he's not, it's just like what other options do you have? And you have two really good options in Kyrie and Luca.
Yeah.
Who would you rather have the ball in your hands for? Like Luca, like backing down
Yeah.
somebody in isolation, or like Tim Hardaway just chucking up a random three, um,
Mhm.
early in the shot clock. I think I would rather have Luca take that one.
No,
So I
definitely.
get it; they're trying to get their players involved, but like I think some of the players got to be really self accountable with like how they're taking shots.
Yeah, and I mean, like, T THJ hasn't just been doing this now. Like, this shot profile isn't just like, oh, he just started doing this now. He was doing this before when he came off the bench, at the beginning of the season, and when we were really playing well. And I feel like in that case, it's better because he's kind of the best player on the court in that sense. Luka and Kyrie are out. You have like, I don't know, like at that time we might have like Dwight Powell, Jaden Hardy, maybe Dante Exum. Like he in that situation is the best offensive player, and then I'm like, okay, like give him the ball, but still he's still shooting ill-advised shots, kind of like he's just dribbling alone, then he like steps back for a three or a jumper. Like he just takes incredibly hard shots, which I don't really understand. And the fact he's a starter now when he really wasn't when we were last healthy, I think is just huge. I mean, and now we have Dante Exum back. I feel like him or Derrick Jones Jr. are way better, and even Josh Green because they can play some defense. And when your top three like are your shortest guys, Luca, Kyrie, and next person can't play defense, you're inviting blow bys, you're inviting easy buckets for the other team. You need some defense, and I don't know. Jason Kidd has just been saying so much about being like, oh, if we're gonna win a championship, it's with Tim Hardaway Jr. I'm like, I mean, I'm not opposed, but the way he's being played by Jason Kidd right now is just way too much. It doesn't make sense. And I think he needs to just come off the bench like he was. We were trying to get him like a 6 man of the year type of role, and he's not really. He's been I don't know if he's been trying to or Jason Kidd, but they've just been pushing for him to come out to be starting instead of coming off the bench. So it's definitely tough.
Yeah, um, yeah, that's a valid point. That I think they have a kind of a dilemma there
Hmm.
that they thought like Grant Williams would fill that role, but
Yeah,
clearly like they didn't have a backup plan at the wing spot like for starter level play. Like
hmm,
it's one of those things where I feel like they can't play two bigs in the starting lineup anymore.
oh, yeah,
And it's like one of those things where you have to decide whether you want to play Gafford or Lively at the five in your starting lineup and play a guy like Derrick Jones at the four just to give some defense.
yeah. Or
Um,
PJ Washington. I think he's a
and yeah, but the thing is, from the numbers standpoint, I think PJ Washington pairs really well with Maxi Kleba whenever
mm,
they're on the floor
yeah,
together.
like a small
Because
ball.
yeah, Maxi Kleba's he's a pretty nice defender,
Oh, he's a great
but
defender.
like the problem with him is like he's just not able to beat out PJ Washington and Gafford and Lively like offensively. So it kind of puts them in a weird spot where like how much of a balance you want to put it. But like I think if you pair like a guy like Washington and Kleba together, you get a good mix of like offensive diversity as well as like like some defensive like resistance. Um and that might be the way to go there. Um Yeah, it's kind of a tough spot, like, especially if you're looking at Doncic and Irving's
Mm,
struggles of late defensively. Like, how do you get that right 3 and D player? They tried it.
yeah,
They tried it, but, like, I don't think it's worked. Like, it's
No, yeah,
It's one of
it's
those
been tough.
situations. If they had a guy like KCP or Aaron Gordon, they would be set.
That
That
would
would
be
be
huge.
amazing.
Yeah.
They would have a fully like rounded out roster by now. But
Hmm.
like I think that's the missing piece. And if
Yeah.
you compare that team like the Mavs to like a team like um I was just thinking about them with the wings and it, like the Pelicans. Like,
God.
I can see the Pelicans give them problems because they have so
Yeah.
many good wings,
Herb
and they're
Jones,
like a
Kramer.
sleeper team, yeah.
Hmm.
I think I heard, like, Kendrick Perkins on the Pat McAfee show just call, like, the Pelicans, like, the dark horse of the Western Conference where, like, they
Yeah.
could end up in the Western Conference Finals. And while I think that's slightly outlandish, given, like, how the Western Conference is stacked, I can see it with the way Zion's playing and the way BI's always been playing, and,
Hmm.
um like Trey Murphy has been like that's the type of team that can give the Mavs problems defensively the way they're
No, yeah.
structured.
Yeah, and I mean, at that point, like, who do we have to guard Zion? Like, BJ Washington, all right, but then I don't know. It would be hard to guard him in the paint. And then other thing, I don't know if it was big this game. It's been really big in the past two games. The Mavs just have been turning the ball over like they don't care about it at all. I checked the score last night. We're down by like 20 to the Pacers, and like, oh, I checked the team stats. All of them are almost the same, except turnovers. There was like 9 to or like 1 or 2 for the Pacers to like 15 or something to the Mavs. So that hasn't been helping either. So overall, just discombobulated.
And that's kind of
Um,
ironic because the Pacers were in that spot like in the first half of the season.
yeah,
Great offensive team,
too
very
fast.
efficient, but they would turn the ball over. It
Hmm.
was like the weirdest anomaly, or like not play any defense. And like the Mavs are kind of in this weird spot now. So
Yeah.
I mean, especially with how offensively gifted they are, I think they have the fourth best offense in the league.
Hmm.
Like if you have double digit turnovers like that and there's like a double digit disparity on top of that,
Yeah.
that's a recipe for disaster with this team especially because their clear strength is offense, but their clear weakness is defense. And
Hmm.
turning the ball over just like
Kills you.
it kind of loses your entire margin for error there.
I've seen just, and I don't know what it is honestly at this point for the defense. Like, a part of me thinks it's hustle, but I've seen so many clips of just like I don't know why last night like Miles Turner or Doncic is guarding Miles Turner, and I look around the court, I'm like, that's I guess that's the best person for him to guard. 'Cause I don't think he could guard any of the other guys, and like the other defenders are kind of like trying to help and rotating off their guy to help Luca, and then it'll leave someone open that just brings an open three. I don't know what it is, but I, I really hope we can figure it out. And supposedly, like Markieff Morris has been saying like we need to put more effort, and I was just like, all right, Markieff Morris is leading this team right now. I don't emotionally, I guess I don't know what's going on. So
I mean, he like in his prime, he's a great defender. Like he might
yeah,
be a good option,
big
but like
body.
the thing is like you got to decide what you want to be defensively.
Hmm.
If you want to keep Luca on there for extended minutes because he's such a
Hmm.
great offensive player, you got to figure out a way to play with him defensively. At
Yeah.
this point, like Luca's one of one. Like Giannis, Jokic, like Shy, like they're like a few tier, like small tier players you want to have offensively,
Hmm.
and like you're not training away Doncic to get better defensively. So
Nah.
like
Yeah.
you're just gonna have to deal with this problem, and you're gonna have to figure out how to maximize them. So whether that's like different zone pressures or like putting him
Clear
and like
rotation.
involved with a double team, so like you put less pressure on him to hold his own defensively, and like try to try to support the rest of your defense in some way. Like play like a triangle defense behind it and like a double on top or something, so you can spread yourself out and cover your wings um, while the double's happening, or something. And I'm saying this to add like a change up to the defense they already have because
Yeah.
I feel like they're getting very exploded right now.
No, definitely. I think I've said it before, but just kind of like following what Jokic and the Nuggets did, kind of whenever he's exposed, have someone help, and then like learn how to rotate off that. And maybe they've done that before. I don't know. I'm obviously not there, but like just it feels like it's never really that organized. But yeah, that's all I kind of got.
Yeah, and then I know we were talking about this a little bit, but like what an amazing turnaround the Milwaukee Bucks have had.
Hmm.
Like it's I think what the Bucks have proven is like defense is fixable. Like it's the Mavs are not in a bad spot right now. They're playing really well offensively, but
Hmm.
like there's a clear weakness there that they can correct with effort
Yeah,
if they want to. It's just they gotta have the want to on
yeah. There's no way to get around it. There's no way to
it.
cheat the system, cheat the game for real.
One guy that has been a cheat code in this game for the past 20 years, 21 years,
LeBron James,
LeBron James. He hit 40K points against the Nuggets.
let's
And
go.
guess who won that game?
The Nuggets.
The Nuggets for the
Yeah,
eighth straight time.
yeah,
Unbelievable. It was pretty awesome. It was pretty funny to see the interaction between Jokic and LeBron before the game. But Jokic's like, we're gonna hold you to 8 points. And then LeBron's just laughing. And
yeah.
it looked like all the momentum was going the Lakers' way, and then bam, the Nuggets closed it out in the fourth quarter. I think they went 8 of 9
Really.
on their last 9 possessions as far as like basket results, and
Yeah.
like that's what championship teams do. Like it was not long ago where like the Nuggets were struggling teams like
Mm,
LeBron and the Warriors, and it's just amazing to see their evolution where they're kind of now like the hunted team, even
mm,
though they're not in the top of the standings. Um, I think this time game shows like the Nuggets are the clear class of the Western Conference.
yeah.
But at the same time, it's kind of disappointing to see from the Lakers because they have all this potential.
Hmm.
Like D'Angelo Russell's been like I've been dogging on him in the past, and he's been playing amazing. Austin Reeves is finding his own. Anthony Davis has not been missing games that much, and like LeBron is continuing to do it again. They look to be like one of the preseason favorites because of all the free agent additions they've had.
Yeah.
But for some reason, they're still sitting at ninth in the conference. It's unbelievable, man. Like I don't know like how this Lakers team can perform like so underwhelmingly. It's crazy.
Yeah. It's just really confusing for me as well. Like I I really like LeBron, as we've kind of talked about, and I like the Lakers just kind of as a like, in my opinion, the greatest franchise in the league. But it just doesn't make sense. Like this is every other year it's been like, oh, AD isn't healthy, LeBron isn't healthy, the Lakers have no help. That's why they were bad. But now you kind of look at it like you're saying, and you're like, why? There's no reason why. It just is. And I guess you can blame the stacked Western Conference. I mean, the Western Conference is completely stacked right now. It feels like.
But they just beat the Thunder. Like they
Yeah.
had the potential. This like
Well,
for
that.
me, it's like
Hmm.
I get it. They beat the Thunder just yesterday, but
Yeah.
like it's where's the consistency? Like
Well.
like a LeBron-led team at this time is making their run and
Hmm.
like gearing up for like a top seed in the playoffs and making and like really standing strong. And I don't think they're just there yet. You know,
Mhm. One thing I would say is that the Lakers have actually beat the Thunder the yesterday and the previous two times they've played, and I think that's more of just a function of, I mean, Chet Holmgren against Anthony Davis, and then he has no other big guys behind him, like in the depth chart. So I mean, and that's the thing, Lakers size. The next tallest player on their starting lineup for the Thunder is Josh Giddey if he starts at 6'8".
and people
So
are leaving them openly. The Suns did
yeah,
it. The
so
Lakers are doing it. Like it's
mhm.
unbelievable, man.
I
Like
don't
he
want to.
did go off one time. Like I think he went
Yeah,
6 for 7 from three, but
hmm,
like Thunder
he's
got
not
to
that
sort that
great.
out. Like not many teams in the Western Conference are like have that clear weakness that the Thunder do. Um,
Hmm.
so like
Yeah.
it's like even if they win against the Thunder, which is really impressive because Thunder are one of those teams that are 40 plus wins, less than
Hmm.
20
Yeah.
losses on the season. Really great season so far.
No.
But
Yeah.
like um, it's they're young, they're inexperienced. So like that's like the Lakers can beat those types of teams. Like I even give them a shot to beat the Timberwolves. But like they have to consistently play like it. They're not right now. Can they? Yeah, there's still plenty of time to like change that. But if I put them up against the Clippers or the Nuggets right now, I don't think they're gonna win.
No.
I really don't. Um, like what's like what I don't have any confidence that that's gonna happen.
No. Yeah. Nuggets for sure. Just because Jokic, like we've said before, is unguardable, and the Clippers are just so deep. I don't know. I don't know what they can do there. They just Lakers are a confusing team.
And plus, Sai had a really bad game that game too.
Oh
So
yeah.
like, you're not gonna expect that to happen like in a seven
Mhm.
game series like 4 times. That's just not
Yeah.
gonna happen.
The only thing I think really helping the Lakers if they do play the Thunder in the playoffs is just experience. I mean, you have two guys that have won a championship together, no less, and then obviously the size as we've said. So that's a possible upset, but even that, like, I wouldn't be as surprised because obviously young teams don't do well in the playoffs. Things change in the playoffs, so I'd want to see how it goes.
Yeah, it's gonna right now. I think they're slated for the playing game clearly,
Hmm.
but if they get past
I
that,
think they're
let's
in the
see.
ninth seed, right behind the Mavs.
Right, right. It
Yeah.
depends. I think they would clearly face the Timberwolves in the
Hmm.
first round matchup, which is a winnable game.
Yeah.
But then they either face the Clippers or the Pelicans. If we're just looking at this
Mm.
lineup like the way it is,
Current
and
state.
they could beat the Pelicans, but like it's more likely that the Clippers come out of that series the way it's structured right now. And
Mhm.
yeah, that's a very tough match because then the way I see this playing out is Lakers have to go up against the Timberwolves, who are top of the conference. Then they have to go against the Clippers, who are the deepest team in the league and a team I consider to be the best in the Western Conference alongside the Nuggets. And then they'll probably have to face the Nuggets in the conference finals if the Nuggets play at the NBA championship level they have.
Yeah.
So like while that first round series I could see them winning because like the Timberwolves have like problems of like defensively matching up to the Lakers as well, in my opinion.
Hmm.
Like is, these are not going to be easy series to go up and win. And
Yeah.
this is like, and even to get there, they have to beat the Warriors who are surging. And while they have to find themselves after the Celtics loss, that was pretty embarrassing. Like I think Steph Curry can do that. I think Steph Curry will be fine. Um, like Draymond will be fine, hopefully. Well, I don't say that with confidence, but like that's a team that always seems to rise to occasion around
Mhm.
this time, and like they're exactly like a model of like the LeBron Lakers at this point. Championship team, veteran experience. You're gonna have to beat them to even survive. So I look at that and I say, um, yeah, it's gonna be Warriors. If you get past the Warriors, you face who's 7-8 right now.
Mavs and
Mavericks or Kings.
yeah.
Um, no offense, Diego. I think the Kings could beat could beat the Mavs here, despite them losing to the Bulls just
Depends.
recently. And then it's just like a Kings team who has been that young team,
Hmm.
but has looked really good as of late. Um, and that's gonna be a tough matchup. So you're perusing through like 5 different teams essentially just to get to the finals. And um, I don't think the Lakers are there yet. They have the talent to, but it's like they're just a team that befuddles me because they should be a lot better
Better.
performance-wise than they are right now.
Yeah, it's confusing, but bright side, LeBron's the only player with 40K points. I don't know if anyone else will do that, but it's definitely crazy. And I read like an
I think
ESPN
I think
article
it's
about it.
possible to be honest because dude, you like granted you need a player to play like as long as LeBron has,
Hmm.
but like you look at the scoring outputs right now, it's insane. It's
Yeah,
insane how much like how many players have hit over 60 this season?
it's
Like
true.
like a handful, but like that's usually not normal. Usually it's like a few. Usually it's like one or two. It's not like five. It's been ridiculous this season.
Yeah,
So
and I think another thing would just be longevity. Like you'd think KD would be somewhere on that list to possibly do it, but missing 2 years, almost three, or no, I think it's a total of 2 years with his big injuries. Let alone all the little like cuts and nicks he gets like throughout the regular season. He's not that close as you think. And it depends. Like Giannis, you could think as well, but he's not a good shooter. He can't shoot free throws.
well that's
That
Steph.
doesn't help him either. Steph is going, but he's already 35, and I don't know if he's broken 25K.
Not yet. He's at
Yeah,
22K right now.
so that's like 15,000 in I don't know 4 years is crazy. Like 2,000 point seasons are like high level. So but also greatest 3 point shooter of all time. So that kind of helps. But he also missed some time, missed a lot of time at the beginning of his career as well. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah, he had a lot
difficult.
of ankle injuries.
It's very difficult. You need a guy that's gonna play a certain way, can shoot, gets to the free throw line, and doesn't get injured. It's very rare in our day and age.
Yeah, I
And
think I think
yeah,
LeBron's health during that 9-year like finals run,
God, yeah.
like that's something that's very hard to replicate,
I mean,
just from a health perspective.
you play October, late October to early June for 9 years straight. That's crazy, man. And he's still going. Oh man. All right, we gotta move on before I just keep just praising LeBron here.
Yeah, I know. I'm almost about to call him the goat at this
Yo,
rate.
let's go.
No, that is never gonna happen.
Another supporter
Like
to my
if
cause.
if he continues to make finals runs, maybe, but I'm not there yet with him.
Yeah.
Um, Sengun's performance against Wembanyama. We both didn't watch the games here, but I just saw the highlights. Saw he dropped 45. He held
Mm,
Wemby to 10, and
yeah.
then there's just like a series where he's just like he stole the ball from Wemby, just
Mm,
took the ball down the court, then passed it to somebody else, got the ball back, and did like a no look behind the back pass,
yeah,
like
yeah.
cutting baseline dunk, and I'm just like, oh my, like Sengun has these games where it's just like
He's
Jokic,
special.
a more athletic Jokic, is that you? Like, what
Mm.
is going on? Um, like, how about that, man?
I think it's interesting. Like I think I saw that's the one play I saw like as a highlight, and I was just seeing like the caption was just like, oh yeah, like Shingun just completely like showed up Wemby and whatnot, and I feel like he's kind of your best defender for Wemby. Like you've seen a lot of teams put like their bigger like thicker defenders, like guys like David Roddy say, like that kind of build of like a big body dude that can't be moved, that might even move Wembanyama around. And the thing is, Shingun is tall as well, and he's energetic. I think that's the biggest thing because he might be able to move with Wemby just about a similar amount, and being obviously not close to his size, but similar-ish mobile center, he's able to kind of affect Wemby, and I think that was a big reason for his good play this game. So I need to watch those highlights. I'm kind of curious.
Yeah, I
I
mean, and it's not like Wemby had a bad game on like other sides. It's like obviously his point count was like lower than probably he was expecting.
yeah,
Like he had 11 rebounds and 7 blocks. Like just to continue to lead the like 7 blocks a
7 blocks.
game is ridiculous.
I think he's
Like
averaging like 3 this whole season, which is in and of itself crazy.
oh wait, he's at okay. Sorry, I misspoke there. I was just I meant to say his game. He
Mm,
had 7 blocks, but not averaging 7 blocks. But like it's like what he's doing. Like and he was able to block Sengun a couple times, but like I
mhm.
think the way that Sengun plays is like he is able to have that touch like over like he had a couple of like teardrops over Wemby, and it's like he is not scared. And I think people look at the like basically Slender Man on the court, and it's like, how do I like how do I get my shot off this guy? Because like it's gone to such a shoot first league that
Mhm,
if you can time like the shot well, like if you're a guy like Wemby, then you could
mhm.
block almost anything. And it's
Yeah,
like, um, I mean that's not the only way to play basketball. So I think it was definitely refreshing to see that Wemby's not gonna like just completely break the league. Like
yeah,
it's cool to see that he's like doing so well early in his career, but like it's also cool to see like it's not going to be like a Chico where it's like if he's there, then it's like nobody can stop him. Like Spurs are going to the finals every other year, of like 3 years from now, and it's like
yeah.
it's cool to see that there are ways to like stop him, but also he can have a good game after that. Like because I guess my point here is like it shows like where Wemby can get better in this game. Like right
Mm.
now, he's like better than rookie year Giannis,
No,
and
yeah.
that is an extremely great spot to be. And plus, he has a three, and
Mm,
plus, he has the decision making already. So
yeah.
like, he has a higher ceiling than Giannis right now if he just builds his frame.
I know, like that's you were saying like it's good that Wemby could kind of get like locked up or have a bad game from Shingun, but I think that's just now. I don't know. We don't know how he's going to be in five years when he's 24, not even in his prime. 5 years of NBA training and whatnot, like that. That's going to be scary. And I don't like. I think I've just listening like commentators have been like, oh, he's not gonna like gain those 50 pounds like Giannis did because that's not his game. I mean, Giannis is just
How do you
run
know
like,
that?
but like,
How do you
because he's
know
gonna
he
shoot
could always
threes.
adapt his game?
He
Like,
doesn't. He doesn't need that though. That's my thought. Like the fact that like in a KD sort of way, KD doesn't need to go in the paint as much as say Giannis because he can't shoot it. Like like I just want to bring like the harkening back to the whole James Harden run and dunk man description of Giannis. Like
yeah.
Wemby's already like base skills I think better offensively because he can just shoot. I mean, he's so much more dangerous, and the passing ability I think is another thing. It took Giannis until his finals run to make those passes, that
Yeah.
reads and passes that Wemby can make every now and then. Now, I think
They
it's
need to definitely build around him. But like,
yeah,
I think back to the strong point, like Sengun mentioned that, and I think the key quote from him is like describing Wembanyama is saying he's so tall, but he's not that strong yet.
yeah,
I was going at his chest and putting him under the rim. And I mean, if you look at the places where Sengun was like doing well against him, it was like top of the key,
mm,
elbows, posts, in the pocket, on the rolls. Like yes, Wemby succeeds when he's like chasing like the 3-point shots
mm-hmm,
because he can have better recoveries in that standpoint. But like that's kind of like the detailed areas in the game where he can grow defensively.
mm-hmm. No, yeah, there's definitely more growth to be grown. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, like the sky's the limit on this guy still. I think one bad game doesn't make his career arc, but like at the same time, it's great to see hit this from like a player development standpoint because that means he can develop. Like he's
yeah,
not perfect, and and like despite that, like I think he's my rookie of the year candidate at this rate, and it's like a tight one between him and Chet.
yeah,
But like I I think Wemby's made enough of a case where he's like she's clearly the best pick in the draft right now,
mm-hmm.
and like it's it looks like the Spurs have a steal. They just need to build around him.
Yeah. One highlighter tidbit going along with that is I have a friend that I play basketball with. He works at GM as well, and he's a Spurs fan, and so he just got a Wemby jersey, and we were playing. He was wearing it, and one of our other friends, he was just like kidding around guarding this guy, and he's like, "Yo, Chet, rookie of the year, not Wemby." And then my guy literally like broke his ankles on the play, hit like shot a mid range and hit it, and we're like, "Yo!" Like it was so funny because he had just kind of talked his talk, kind of tripped a little bit. He got him.
He
He was
took
like,
that
"Man, I should
personally,
not
man.
have done that." And it was so funny. Wearing the Wemby jersey too, and like I wish I had a picture of it, but it's like the George Gervin type of Spurs where it's like his last name on the back is like really like bent like circularly, and oh, it's so nice. I love it. It was a nice jersey.
Wow.
So that was a fun moment. But yeah, no, I agree. I think Wemby should get Rookie of the Year just because he is literally carrying this team that for half of the year was not like playing in a way that helped him at all, and he was still carrying like not carrying it well, but he was the team. Chet kind of walked into the perfect situation for him. So
Yeah.
that's my thought, and I kind of like this is kind of revenge for Donovan Mitchell not getting that Rookie of the Year over Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons had a year of just like chilling and whatnot. And I think so did Blake Griffin. He had that kind of thing, that kind of situation, getting injured in his first year and getting an extra year to kind of train and whatnot. But yeah, Wemby ROY, lock it in.
Yeah, I think like he and Chet have the same areas where they can grow in, which
Mm-hmm.
is crazy. And like it's
Yeah.
great that they have a budding rivalry right now. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's great for the league. I think it's like two buddy buddy at this rate.
Yeah.
It's like kind of like where's the fierce competition? We need that more. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
um
Uh-huh.
oh yeah. If you have more to add, go for it. I was
Oh,
just
I was
gonna move on to the
just
playoffs.
heard mostly on the podcast, like they're just saying like these two guys, like they respect each other obviously. Like they're not like jabbing each other like disrespectfully or being excessively mean to each other, but they just don't like each other. because they're
Yeah,
so similar. And I mean, they this
they
has
want to
gone
compete.
bad. Yeah, this has gone back to like a like U18, U17 FIBA final, France versus US that they played against each other years ago, well, a few years ago. So they know each other well. So
Mhm.
I'm definitely interested to see where this lands. This could be in 10, 15 years, this could be a huge rivalry, even more than it is now. I'm excited.
Yeah, who knows? We might be seeing the next KD versus LeBron. Like
Yeah.
that's what it's shaping up to be.
Hmm.
Speaking of like legends like that in the playoff picture right now, we could talk. That's a really bad segue. Um,
It was
let's talk about
something.
the playoffs. Um,
What do you want to start with?
Obviously,
East or West?
Western Conference is crazy.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
it's still nip and tuck right up there with the top of four now, if you consider the Clippers. Like
Yeah.
1 through 4 is separated by 3 games. The top three separated by a game. Um, that's going to be tight. But if I look at um, 5 through 10, that's separated by 5 games. The play-in spots separated by two
Yeah.
games. Like a lot of movement to be had.
So much.
Jazz are still not making any headway. They're 5 games out of the play-in. Rockets are
Hmm.
5.5 out of the play-in. It seems unlikely like those two teams are gonna really make a run late in the season, but you never know. What do you make of the Western Conference now that you see New Orleans at 5, Phoenix at 6, Sacramento at 7, Dallas at 8, Lakers at 9, Warriors at 10. Like,
It's
what do you make of that combined with like the top four? Like, how do you think this is gonna shape out?
uh it's tough. I mean, shape out. You mean shape out for if the playoffs started today, or shape out like going into the playoffs? You know what I mean?
Um,
Like, are we assuming this order is what we go into the
let's
playoffs
start
with?
with going into the playoffs. Like,
Okay, yeah.
which teams do you think are gonna stay in the play-in?
Okay, playing teams. Ugh. Lakers and Warriors matchup I think is interesting. I think unless Steph or Clay have a huge game in that, I think Lakers move on. Just
Mm.
more veteran team. They've been slightly more together. Even though the Warriors are playing better, I
Do
just
you
find
think
it.
the Lakers and the Warriors will still stay in the play-in spots,
I
like in
think
the
so. The
okay.
Jazz haven't been doing anything, and I mean, I'm saying it because I don't want the Mavs to be there. Uh, but I could see the Mavs fall in there, and that would be really sad. But if we keep it as it is right now, Lakers Warriors, I could see the Lakers winning. I wouldn't be surprised if the Warriors won, but the Lakers move on there. Kings Mavs, I think we can beat the Kings just because they just don't feel. I don't want to say they don't feel like a serious team, but if you, it's hard to say that they're worse than they were last year just because of their seed. But I mean, they were a 3 seed last year. Right now, they're I don't want to say struggling to get over 500, but they're flirting just like 6% over 500. They're not as good as they were. And I think last year, maybe they came out, kind of punched everyone in the mouth and said, "Here we are, new team, new vibe. This is us," with no
And
expectations.
teams
And
have
now,
kind of adjusted to that.
yeah, and now that there's pressure, now that there's expectations, things have kind of changed, I believe. So I don't know. Again, biased, but Mavs coming out of there. So Mavs take the 7 seed, I think, and then Kings, Lakers. I'm taking the Lakers. I don't think Sabonis is doing anything to AD. What you have Keegan Murray guarding LeBron James, Harrison Barnes,
Harrison
like
Barnes, me, yeah, that's a tough matchup. I mean, the one
yeah,
thing the Kings have going for them is like Malik Monk has really grown,
and
like as
Fox.
a passer,
Oh yeah,
like
and Fox in
and
general.
combining him with Fox, like that's they have great decision makers there, and
Hmm.
like combined with Monk's shooting, I think that'd be great. I still don't get like why they traded Buddy Hield. Like that just makes no sense to me.
Well, was he
Um,
part of the? He was part of the Halliburton trade, or I think he was right.
mm,
I could check. Let me see.
something happened where like he because
Uh,
the like Hield and Halliburton ended up on the Pacers anyway. Like I know Halliburton started on the Kings. I just don't remember how Hield got off the Kings.
okay, yeah,
I
he
mean,
was part of the package for Sabonis in 2022.
oh,
So,
okay, got it. And they
so I
must have
think he was
traded
with
Halliburton
Halliburton.
later at that point. Yeah,
I thought it was also with Halliburton. I'm gonna.
it might have been like a draft pick or something like that. Who knows?
Mhm.
Yeah, but
Uh,
that was odd to me. That was odd to me that that happened because they had a lot of talent there. I'm like more of like keep the talent and figure out like fill in the gaps with the draft and like low cost free agents who are.
Yeah.
But I think that's a sneaky team that can make their run late in the season. I actually think
Hmm.
the Pelicans might be a team that
Yeah.
looks good right now. They look in the playoff spot, but I think they might fall to the play in when the season ends like this because you look at the standings right now. It's um like the Kings are just 2 games behind the Pelicans. I don't see the Suns going anywhere. Like I think the Suns are locked in for a top 6 seed. Like I could see the Pelicans like fall for some reason if they hit like a rush set like the Mavs are
Hmm.
facing right now. Like
Yeah.
I could see that easily happening and the Kings just jumping up the experience. So to
It could
me, the
happen.
way I see this panning out is going to be Pelicans, Mavs, Lakers, Warriors. Um,
Okay.
under those matchups, I think the Pelicans can beat the Mavericks because of what I
Defense.
mentioned with the wings,
Hmm.
um, and just the fact that like Zion's playing really well right now, and like that was the big question with that team. And now that he's playing really well, I think the Pelicans can do some things. Um, that's gonna hurt the Mavs. Um, I don't know about the Lakers and Warriors series. That one's really
Yeah.
a toss up to me. Um, Either way that stretches, I think they could beat the Pelicans, whether it's like the Lakers or the
Hmm.
Warriors.
Oh yeah.
So that's or sorry, the Kings. Like I
Hmm.
think either the Lakers or the Warriors could beat the Kings to get that
Yeah.
last
Yeah.
spot. And um yeah, like it's it's really interesting to see like what that 8-1 matchup's gonna be because it's
Hmm.
gonna be another one of those series where it's like, oh, the Lakers are the seventh seed, but like all of a sudden they're in the Western Conference Final. But really, like the top 3 teams are gonna be like young, surprising teams you didn't expect to see. But
Hmm.
like once it comes to the playoffs, it might be a situation where the moment becomes too big for them.
Yeah.
So like I would not be surprised if like the Lakers or the Warriors end up facing the Timberwolves and end up winning that series right now because I know the talent the Lakers and the Warriors have. And
Hmm.
it's kind of one of those things where I don't know how the Timberwolves are going to fare in this 7-game series against the Lakers or the Warriors. It's not like I don't think they won't win it.
Hmm.
It's gonna like I'm just gonna take the more experienced players at that stage. And same thing with the Thunder. Like if the top 4 stays where it's at right now, that's like Thunder and Timberwolves are in trouble if they have to face the Warriors or the Lakers round one.
Yeah.
Um,
I can see that.
yeah. Meanwhile, I think Kings and Thunder as a series is going to be really good, or Timberwolves and Kings. That's going to be a really good series. Um,
Yeah.
Denver against Phoenix. That'd be a really good matchup.
Who?
Um,
Yeah. Rematch of was it last year? No, they didn't play last year.
yeah, no, the Suns and the Nuggets face each other. I think the Nuggets won in 6 games.
Hmm. Oh,
I
they
think
faced each
I
other
think
last
the Phoenix.
year.
Yeah, I think the Phoenix Suns had the best performance, like
Yeah.
in the
Hmm.
entire playoffs out of all the teams that faced
Yeah,
the
they
Nuggets.
won the most games.
Yeah,
They also faced each other in 21 as well without when the Nuggets didn't have Murray. If you remember, there was like a big fight about it. I remember between the fans. That was kind of wild. I think there was a video
yeah,
that
I
came
don't
out.
remember that one. That's been a minute.
Yeah, so
That's when
uh
the Suns didn't have Durant, right?
no, that was like Chris Paul, Mikal Bridges, Aiton, Booker, obviously. I don't think they did. They have campaign. I don't think they
Yeah, they
did.
did.
They
Yeah,
did.
they did.
Okay. So yeah, definitely an interesting. I would be down to watch that because that's gonna be some good basketball. But one thing I'm worried about though is like the play in now. Like originally it was put in so there wouldn't be teams tanking, and it would bring slightly more importance to the regular season. But like last year, you had 3 teams from the play in win their first round series: the Heat, the Warriors, the Lakers. Like I just think that's interesting how that happened and how this becomes kind of I don't want to say an excuse, but it becomes something where you can say, oh, if we don't need to play as hard in the regular season anymore, we could just wait until the right moment, put it in fifth gear, and go crazy and win a bunch of games and get through. So I mean, I wouldn't say I'm opposed to that happening this year, but like it's interesting how like Adam Silver in the NBA having the best intentions for this, it might not necessarily be what they were expecting. So that's an interesting thought. But
Yeah, I hear you on that, but I think it's dependent on like how the conference is structured year to
no,
year. Because like
that as
it's
well.
not like I don't think at the same time next year we're gonna be saying and being like, oh, the Utah Jazz and like the Houston Rockets are 5 games away from the playing spots.
That's
Like I
true.
think the 11 and 12 seeds are gonna be definitely a lot closer. So I like the push to like get more teams involved late in the season, and it's
Hmm.
like less teams like tanking if they're not in the playoff spot.
Hmm.
So it kind of gives teams a chance. That's kind of the intent with this. I think here is like here's just like a moment like in the playing tournament where it's like, do you want your fate decided by 1 or 2 games like football style?
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of teams want that. I think the teams would rather be in a 7 game series where they can like play the home court advantage game, and if you steal a game on the road, you basically win the series. It's
Hmm.
like teams would rather be doing that because then you can develop yourself from game to game within a series as opposed to like one-off games and doing that situation. Like I think the play-in style definitely favors teams like
Hmm.
the Lakers and the Warriors because their championship experience. They've been in those game sevens, so like those high leverage moments definitely favor them. But um, I don't like. I think you're making an assumption that the Lakers and the Warriors will be in the spot next year.
Yeah.
Where, like, in all likelihood, they can be in the top 4 of their conference at, like, at any year, basically, with, like, the talent on their rosters. So, like, I get it, they've been here the past 2 seasons, but, like, I just
Hmm.
don't see that happening year to year.
Yeah.
Um,
We'll
the one
see.
thing the one thing I do wanna mention too is, um, I think it's I think it's great for the game because now if you look at the Western Conference,
Hmm.
like, there's still teams that have a chance to get those top 6 spots. It adds a little bit more drama because now, like, every game matters at this point.
Yeah,
Like
that's true.
let's take a look at the games right now that like, there's 8 games going on, and you
Hmm.
got the Clippers and the Rockets already facing each other. Um, like,
Uh huh.
that's huge that's a huge game for the Clippers because
You gotta
they're
win.
trying to keep up with the top 3. Um,
Hmm.
they
Yeah.
don't have to worry about playing status right now, but, like, let's see here. 10:30. You got the Sacramento Kings and the Los Angeles Lakers.
Yeah. That's a
Do you
big game.
think the Kings really want to face the Lakers in a one-off game with the inexperience they have? I don't think so. So that game matters for the Kings to further the distance and stuff. It's I think what it's allowed is allowed like all these regular season matches from like post All-Star break to April to matter that much more. And I'm a fan of it.
No, that's a good take. That's a good take of it. Uh, but I think also I don't like again I don't know how because like the Western Conference is kind of dominated in this whole time that I've been kind of watching basketball since 2013. Like the Western Conference has always been more loaded, more stacked, except for maybe a few years in those like 19, 20, 21, whereas it was really looking kind of weird without the Lakers doing well, without the Warriors doing well. But I think that also plays a little bit into what we're seeing here with the Western. The Western Conference, I think, is just crazy. So yeah, that's also part of it as well. But no, that's a good take.
Yeah.
You want to check out the East?
Yeah, yeah, that's for sure. Um, this is more like I think it's Celtics and everybody else.
It is, yeah,
Um, it's kind of in a weird spot right now because the 76ers were one of like the best teams in the conference, and now they're in the play-in tournament
yeah.
as of now. Like they have the same record as the Heat, but I think the Heat hold the tiebreaker there.
Hmm.
Um, so let's start from the top. Celtics won.
Yeah,
No question about it. Clear cut favorite. Then you had the Bucks. You had the Cavaliers fighting. They're half a game away from each other.
that's
2
crazy.
3. You got the Orlando Magic. Who saw that coming? They're at 4 at 12.5 games.
Yeah.
New York Knicks are tied with them there. That would be an intriguing matchup, first round series, if that
Hmm.
stands. Then you got the Miami Heat out of the play-in tournament, looking great lately. Um, they're at the top. They're tied with the 76ers, but the 76ers happen to be the 7th spot. Then you got the Pacers at um, the 8th
Eight.
seed, and then you got the Bulls at the 9th seed. closed out by the Hawks, the 10th seed.
Hmm.
So, um, yeah, for my Bulls, it's going to be very tough because even if we somehow manage to beat the
Hmm.
Hawks, which is a winnable game, don't get me
Yeah,
wrong,
definitely winnable.
like that's it's going to be challenging to face the Pacers or the 76ers with a healthy Embiid. So it's
Yeah.
like I'm like, I don't know. And then if we somehow get managed to pull off that, guess we have to face the
Well,
Celtics, who are probably looking like the NBA Finals contestant
yeah.
from the Eastern Conference. So like, it looks rough for the Bulls. But like, um, I guess my question to you here is not so much like what do you think the playoff picture stacks out, as more as like, do you think there's a two seed or maybe not a two seed, a second
Anyone.
team
Yeah.
that can beat the Celtics as they're currently constructed this year?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think anyone in the play-in besides the Sixers, if they're really clicking with Embiid, those new additions and whatnot, they're a possibility. The Heat again, just because Jimmy Butler's gonna do something. The Knicks, I'm not confident in just because they are in shambles, and you don't know how many starters they're gonna get back. So not counting the Knicks, the Magic too young.
Brunson's looking good. Like it looks like he's gonna come back. The
Yeah,
MRI looks clean.
but like not having OG, not having I mean I don't know if Mitchell Robinson's a big deal anymore. If they've really loved Hartenstein.
OG's gonna matter for them though.
OG will matter, yeah. And Randall, I mean Randall is their second best player. It's gonna be tough, and like Randall isn't even like what they're waiting on is not for him to come back. They're waiting on him to be reevaluated, I believe. So it's not gonna be an easy road for them. So Knicks, not I don't think so. Magic again, too young. Their offense also is just not non-existent compared to their defense. They're a better defensive team, I'm pretty sure.
Mm.
Cavs, maybe like uh, they're a very interesting team. I mean, you have Dean Wade outscoring the Celtics in the fourth quarter last night.
But they got Max Strus though.
Yeah, and then Max Strus, who kind of just leveled the Mavericks season, but whatever. So, and then you have the Bucks. So, in my opinion, it's Bucks, Sixers, Heat, Cavs as those teams that could do something to the Celtics. Bucks obviously the favorite. I mean, if you compare play like who has the best player in that series between the Bucks and the Celtics, I think the Giannis is a better player than Jason Tatum, than Jalen Brown, than Kristaps Porzingis. Now
That's
that
fair.
doesn't mean that their team is better than the Celtics overall, but you're also talking about a guy that scored 50 points in the finals and only missing two free throws of 19, which was his complete weakness, and has
And
still
having
always
like
been
one of the best 3-point shooters in the league on the
good.
same team.
Yeah,
Like
so
he never had a talent like Damian Lillard offensively. Like
mhm.
all respect to like Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton during that finals run. I don't think they were Damian Lillard. Like
No, no way.
that just brings a different. They beat the Clippers without Giannis,
Mhm.
which is
Yeah.
very tough to do. Very, very tough to do. And they have one of the best defenses in the league since the All Star break. I agree with you. I think the Bucks are the clear two here. Um, the Cavs are kind of a wild card to me.
Mhm.
Um, I would put them higher than the Heat at this point.
Okay.
Now, can the Heat always turn it on? Yeah, but I don't think they have the guard play that they did from last season, from like Vincent and uh,
Would it be
who's
Struess
that?
or I don't think
Strus.
Hero played. Hero didn't play. He got injured.
No, but like Strus and Vincent really made that team like round
Yeah.
in the floor in the way they did. Like complimenting, but like obviously the
Mhm.
team is led by Butler and Adebayo, but like Vincent and Strus coming out of nowhere really really helped that team like play complimentary and allow Butler to be him. Um, I don't think they have that same makeup on the
Mhm.
team, and they lost Kyle Lowry too. So they lost a lot of like key guys that played pivotal roles to that finals run.
Mhm.
So like I'm gonna knock them down a peg or two, but I will not be surprised if they pull off something similar. It's just
Yeah.
it's just gonna be harder for them to do that.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I think it's just three teams there. I
No
wouldn't
Sixers.
consider four, but like what's that?
No Sixers.
Sixers is just it's very
Difficult, right?
yeah, it's difficult because of Embiid. Because Embiid's kind of like the Jokic game changer talent
Oh
that
yeah.
they have. Like until I see him come back and really like see how that all fits together with Maxi and all, like and see like what they did in the first half of the season come back, then I'll put them up there. Like they're
Yeah.
not there for now, and plus they have a lot to prove. Like um at this rate, they have to make they have to get out of the play-in tournament to
No, definitely.
get the right matchup because right now they would be facing the Bucks
Yep,
like
they would
in
be
a
facing the
seven-game
Bucks.
series if they win all their games out, and that's going to be a tough matchup for them if Embiid is healthy or not because like
Yeah.
I don't think Max and Embiid cancel out Giannis and Dame. Like
Mhm.
the statistics wise, like you can put them on an even level playing field. When I'm talking about like high leverage moments, I have confidence in Embiid. I don't have confidence in Maxey
Well, yeah,
compared to like Embiid and Lillard.
Maxi
That's the
is
thing. That's the thing with me.
Maxi's so young. I think that's the biggest thing for him. He's never been in like, well, he was in the playoffs last year, but he's never been the second guy on a playoff team. I think that's big. But
The thing is, it's not just those two with the Bucks too. Like you're talking about
mhm,
like Beasley, like you got
true,
Beasley. They just added Patrick Beverly, which has helped immensely.
Patrick Beverly's
Um,
nuts.
I mean, I'm just looking at him as a complimentary piece. Obviously,
Yeah.
not he's their third leading scorer
No,
there.
yeah.
But,
No, I'm
they got
saying.
Brook Lopez.
Mhm,
Like Bobby Portis has been like a linchpin for that team for the like
mhm.
toughness. Um, like they just got a lot. Like they got a lot there to be like where it's not just yeah, and obviously Middleton, but like it's it's not just Dame and Giannis here with the C. I think they're
No,
just
definitely.
figuring out like who the rest of the roster is, and I think collectively they can take on the Sixers.
Yeah.
Um, that's why I don't because I don't think the Sixers will get to that point where they have to face the Celtics to go to the finals. I think that's likely either the Cavs or the Bucks,
Mm.
and then I'll throw the Heat in there, but it's like a maybe there.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing as well is that the Cavs and Bucks staying how it is now, uh, Bucks assuming they beat the 7 seed, Cavs assuming they beat the 6 seed, they play in the second round. And I mean, Mobley's also out right now. I don't know how long he's out for. Uh, but is Jared Allen able to guard Giannis? Are they able to play defense against that Bucks team? I don't know. But yeah, Bucks if it stays as it is, I can see Bucks Celtics Eastern Conference Finals, and that would be huge. That would be a rematch of the 2022. Would it be No, what Eastern Conference second round matchup in 2022? The Celtics beat the Bucks to move on, play the
That
Heat.
went to 7, right?
Yeah, I think that went to 7. I honestly thought the Bucks were gonna win that one, but they did not.
Yeah.
So
That was a
very
crazy game,
interesting.
man.
Yeah. So I'd be down. Could be a barn burner. I'm interested.
See,
I'm
the
very
thing with the Cavs is like if Mobley just slows down Giannis a little bit, like I give them a puncher's chance
hmm
because they have so many gifted offensive weapons, like
Yeah.
Levert, like Mitchell, like Darius Garland. They could all score 20 on any given night,
hmm
and then like Allen's like a sneaky 15 and 10 guy
No, yeah.
that can happen anytime. It's just he's not asked to do that because of like the gifts they have offensively. Um, it's it really comes down to that Mobley and Giannis match. And Mobley's a great defender. It's just
Yeah.
Giannis is 1-on-1. Like, and that's gonna be a hard ask. That's gonna definitely be a hard ask. But like, I wouldn't. I think the Cavs are a real like wild card in the sense of like how high they can they go. Like
hmm
that's like I would not be surprised to see them in the conference finals, but I would not also not be surprised to see them struggle against the Bucks in like the second round. Like
Yeah.
that's they're kind of like I don't know what to make of them yet. Like when I consider them a top 3 seed because like I've had this notion that is always like Celtics, Bucks, and Sixers going
hmm
into the season,
Yeah.
and now like the way like the Magic and like the Cavs have been playing and like the Knicks, Like it's
Hmm.
kind of like muddy the waters a little bit, but like compared to the Celtics, it's to me it's like three teams in total that can come out of the East, and like I and something I'd like. Well, I feel like the Clippers and the Nuggets are like clear favorites in the West. Like really, any team can come out of it. Like if the Suns come out of there, I wouldn't be surprised because they have three like
The big
bona
three.
fide stars on their offense. If the Warriors come out, I wouldn't be surprised because they've been there before. If the Lakers come
Yeah.
out, I wouldn't be surprised because they have two top five talents when they're healthy. Like there's like multitude teams in the West that they come out, I would not be surprised by. But like with the East, it's like I'd be really surprised if the Magic make it. I'd be really
No, yeah.
surprised if like the Miami Heat make it because they have a weaker like personnel unit in my eyes.
If the
Um,
Knicks make it, that would be
yeah,
very
Knicks,
scary.
I'd be really really surprised because they don't have the top end talent.
Yeah.
It's
At least
yeah,
available or healthy. But yeah.
right, right. So that's where I'm at with that. It's kind of like I'd like it's either Celtics, Bucks, or Cavs coming out of the Eastern Conference, and it's like 70% Celtics for me. Like I'm confident they're gonna make it there.
Yeah.
Um, I just can't go higher than that because like anything could happen in the series. Like the Bucks have like I think they have the depth to keep up with the Celtics.
Hmm.
It remains to be seen if like their top end talent, the Dame and Giannis,
Oh,
will be enough to surpass the team. But like Celtics are a tough team, man. That's gonna be tough
yeah.
to beat.
I think we do have to see the Celtics in the playoffs as well. I mean, last year they looked like a great team, and then they went to like 6 games with the Hawks for almost no reason. Then struggled against who they play in the second round. Not the Sixers. Who did the Celtics play in the second round last year?
I think it was the Sixers actually.
I thought no. Who
Let me
because
look this up.
the Heat beat the Heat beat yeah. Then the Heat beat the Knicks. So the Heat yeah. I guess it would be yeah. They played the Sixers. They played the Sixers in the game 7. They beat them. So yeah. So I mean, the Sixers game they kind of took the 7, and I mean they didn't look good at the start. They really had to amp it up at the end to win in game 7, especially game 6 to survive. And then
Yeah,
I
that was a
mean
wild series. I was really nervous that the 76ers were gonna pull out because I just wanted to
yeah.
see the Celtics in the finals, like have that rematch again.
Hmm.
And I got really nervous against the Heat series because I'm like, what just happened? How did they go
Yeah.
down 3-0 to the Heat? Like, it's just crazy to me.
Exactly, and I've heard on like a thinking basketball podcast that they were saying like the Celtics shot so unluckily, and the Heat were so lucky with their shots that that's kind of how it happened. But like,
But
if
the
you're the
thing is,
Celtics, the
the
best team in the
Celtics
league,
relied on the three too much in that
yeah,
series, and I think they're shooting the three ball really well here. I think the difference with this team is you don't have like a bunch of the Celtics had a lot of wings last year.
oh
That
yeah,
they had
yeah,
like almost like too many talented wings, and Grant Williams was playing well there.
hmm
To be fair, and they had Smart, and they had
Robert
all
Williams
these guys.
as well,
Malcolm Brogdon was playing well. Um, and Robert Williams was playing well. But the thing is now, like the key with this team is they have Porzingis,
yeah,
and Porzingis can do so much as a starter that he just throws the curveball that like no other team can match right now. With like when you think about the rest of the roster, because
no,
they
yeah,
have, they have like one of the best defensive backcourts in the league. Um,
hmm
like one of them that can block 3-point shots from literally behind somebody's head, which is
yeah,
insane to me. Derek White is like I've always wanted him as a starting point guard. I don't know why the Spurs decided to let him go. Like imagine him with Wembanyama right now.
yeah,
Like but like the Celtics have that, and that he's not even their starting point guard. It's Drew Holiday. We know how good Drew Holiday is.
hmm
Um, then you got two $300+ million franchise players
yeah,
like as your wings, and they're great, talented wings.
no, yeah,
Um, and that's just the starting line. And then you have like Horford coming off the bench,
Pritchard,
like Pritchard, who I've always been a fan of. I love this game. Um, he's coming off but like that's enough for this team now.
hmm
Like the one thing we were worried about with the Celtics was their depth because their depth from last year was amazing, but now it's
yeah,
like it's an afterthought, and it's really just like as long as Porzingis stays healthy, I don't think anybody's beating this team.
Yeah, it's just the way he allows them to play is just different. So I do want to see in the playoffs. I know they are a different team, but there have been moments like when they were playing the Pistons, I think at home in Boston, the game that had to go into overtime that shouldn't have had a
Oh,
need for
was
that.
this when like the Pistons had that losing streak?
But
That was so really close. I was really shocked that happened.
yeah, I was I was excited because it could have been something interesting, but I think I think now they're really in their mode, but I do want to see how they start the playoffs. I want to see them
That's fair.
whoever they're matched up against. Now, say the Sixers or no, Pacers. If we just go 1-8, whatever. I
Yeah.
want to see whoever they face in 1-8 matchup. They need to either get swept or a 5 game gentleman's sweep to really convince me. Like, yep, they're locked in. Anything else from that, I'll be contemplating. I'll be doubting. I'll be worrying that they're in the
Mm.
same spot. But it, I have confidence they can do it. They're a good team.
Yeah, it's I think the makeup is I don't think a Drew Holiday point guard team
True.
will be that way with the talent they have. I
Yeah.
think yeah, Marcus Smart was the backbone of that team, but like he couldn't really control like
Yeah.
what Jason and like Jalen did. I think after like all the close calls the Celtics have now, I don't think this will happen a third time. If
Oh,
it does, I'm like this team is never going to the finals
yeah.
because
Again.
like you have all this talent and you're squandering it just because of like the level of effort you put in. So
Hmm.
um, I'm gonna put my trust for the third consecutive year that they can win the finals. After that, I'm not putting my faith in them again.
It's not
Like
a bad
they're just
idea.
coming down. Like it's like as a realistic finals prediction, I think it's gonna be Celtics, and then I don't know from the Western Conference at this point. It's
It's
like
easy to say the
crapshoot.
Nuggets.
I'm gonna say the Nuggets. I think I predicted that like earlier, like on earlier episodes. But like if the Celtics don't get there, I would be more shocked than anything.
Yeah.
But
They
this is
should
a
be
fun
there.
exercise just to see like who could give them a challenge there. Um, all right, Diego, we're rolling across like past an hour.
Yeah.
Um, so we probably want to give these users, these listeners a break. So you can follow us at our Instagram at amon.a.mission.
Yes, sir. Wait.
Also pay attention to our
Oh
YouTube
wait, I
channel.
tweet. There we go.
There you go. Nice job. Nice job there. Follow us at our YouTube channel at Amon A Mission, and you should have liked, subscribe, and comment based on your feedback. Who do you think is going to make a deep run in the finals or maybe in these playoffs? Are there any teams that we didn't mention? We mentioned a lot, um, but do you think the Magic might suddenly show up in the finals? Let us know. With that, you guys, thank you so much for listening. Peace out, and we'll see you next week.
Yep. See it.